So I've started watching Bridgerton recently for the first time. Part of me wasn't interested in Bridgerton because of the way either people have tried to pitch it to me in the past or the ways I've seen it pitched online or described online as kind of like a sexy Downton Abbey. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any interest in actually sitting down and watching Downton Abbey. My mum has nearly finished watching them all, so I've caught a bit here and there. It hasn't convinced me to sit and watch them all properly. And also the way that people were describing like the sex slash sexy scenes in Bridgerton just made me think it was something that just was of no interest to me personally. I can admit when I'm wrong. I have been enjoying watching Bridgerton. I have to say, generally as well, I don't particularly care for accuracy with this show. There are some shows where I'm like, yeah, damn, tell us all about, the history of, there's a few like historic-esque films, some based on real things, some not, just based sometime in history, that I enjoy when they are more accurate to the time period. But honestly, with Bridgerton, I knew this was never going to be that important to anybody involved. I almost see it in a way as like an alternate universe Hunger Games scenario, particularly with how some of them are dressed. Like the Queen in particular would have the entire capital gagged by her wigs alone. So I can have a reasonable amount of detachment from realism and accuracy. I didn't think I like the characters or the plot arcs, but I have been enjoying a lot of them. Not all of them. A lot of them. So I am going to tell you a little bit about what I thought of season one so far, and we'll see if there's an audience for this video. Because maybe I'll go season by season, who knows? So this is a little bit for me, but also a little bit for people watching who maybe don't care about Bridgerton, but maybe care about me posting a video. The central plot of season one is around Daphne and Simon, but I will get to them in a minute because I want to kind of give some background and other characters. First, we have the Bridgerton family. Generally, I can't stand the oldest brother, Anthony, in this season. We will see what happens. I know this is the only thing I know about Bridgerton before starting, is who like the main couples are of each season, or like the main couple is of each season. So I know he's the couple in season, like one of the main. Oh my god, I can't speak. I know that he is one part of the main couple in season two. So we will see. We will see. But season one can't stand him. But yeah, he has taken on his father's responsibilities. I was not aware when he died. I don't feel like they referenced that at all. It sounded like really recent in this season. So yeah, I don't know. He's a useless twat. Nothing but a drama causer, just because he's a prat about everything. Seems to get in the way of every match anyone tries to make with his sister Daphne. Some of them for fair enough reasons, most of them not. The next brother gives me bi energy. So I mean, I have now seen anyway, after writing this script, some online magazines, news reporting sites, what the fuck ever, reporting about this character and his bisexuality. So I guess I was right. I clocked that bitch. I seem to clock a lot of the queer characters before they realize they're queer. I don't know if that was like actually heavily implied at any point, or whether I don't know, they're just giving me some vibes with how they're playing the character, and it just turns out to be correct later on. Was any of this planned? I have no idea. Like I said, I've not read the books and I'm not going to. So I don't know if it's written. I doubt it. But, I don't know. If not, that's unsurprising, but whatever. I originally wrote, if he isn't a bit fruity, I want a refund. Because I was just so adamant. So adamant. He's an artist who somehow manages to befriend the only gay in town. So he's got to be gay. Befriend is a very loose term, to be fair, for this season. I think the next brother is still older. I think it took a while for them to reference the names in alphabetical order thing, which I found hysterical, but very helpful as a viewer. There's so many children in the Bridgerton family, and I feel like there's I think they recast one of them. I think there was a girl who came back briefly for a little while and she's gone again, but in all of in all of the coverage I've seen, it's a different sister, different person that we didn't see before. I don't know. So I feel like they recast this person. Yeah, so I looked into this a little bit more and I did find a post somewhere talking about this actress being recast. Because for a second I was like, is this just one of the 8 siblings I just didn't, I don't know, remember, like Clark? Because I was like, oh, maybe she's G for Georgia. And then I was like, no, wait, they've got G for George. So yeah, they did recast this actress for some reason. I don't know if it was that she wasn't returning or what, but either way, I found out I was correct. I wasn't making things up. Yeah, 8 siblings. That's so many. I also have no idea how old anyone is. It's really not clear how old people are. Yeah, I'm basically just waiting for them to make references to age. I think I may have missed the ones in this season, so I don't know how old anyone is. But all of the men in this show, except from the literal boys who are children, all of the men look 35 plus to me, and then all of the women look like children. And that's a very uncomfortable aspect of watching this show. Colin, I think. So, yeah, he's still older than Daphne. Colin, Goofy McGooferson. No other personality trait, but a bit of a daft bitch. The only sister I care to discuss is Nancy Drew, Eloise. Smart woman, but also I've put in brackets girl with a few question marks because I don't know. I just don't know how old any of these women are supposed to be. But I love ladies with dark hair. She also reminds me of the actress for the Anne of Green Gables films in the 80s. And also her character gives that Anne, she gives the same kind of personality. So I like her a lot. I hope she gets a banger of a season at some point. Give another Bridgerton girl a chance because, like I said, I haven't watched them all. I obviously know who the main couples are. And so far it's just been Daphne and then her 3 brothers. What about the rest of them? Do any of them get a season to themselves? Because I know it's whatever the season is of summer for dating and throwing all of your children out of the house to go get married. So I guess obviously some of them are going to happen at the same time in the same season. But does that mean some of them aren't going to be kind of the starring couple of the season? I don't know. Also, a side note, does she have a clip-in fringe? Because there are some scenes when she's at home where her hair looks really beautiful, but she has no fringe. She's got her hair clipped up at the side and a nice little zhuzh thing going on, but no fringe to be seen. So does she have a clip-in fringe? Was it just me that couldn't stop looking and thinking about this all season? I would appreciate being informed. Thanks. But yeah, she like goes back and forth between having a fringe and not having a fringe. So she must have a clip in fringe, right? Thank you. So that's like all of the people in the family that I care to mention. Everybody else is a child or the mother, who I don't think is even that big of like a character in this season. I can't think of anything that interesting or important that she did. But either way, then we have the other like main family that we give a shit about, which is the Featherington family. Like, yeah, there's groups of other families that we know and hear the names of and stuff, but they're like the only other family that gets quite as much focus. And I think it's just because Penelope is friends with Eloise, and Penelope and Colin have a season together, right? Season 3. So yeah, the only people that matter are Lady Portia, which is the mother, who absolutely controls the strings of everything and is kind of an icon, even though she is a bitch. Like, I honestly think her character is very iconic and I love her, and I think the actress does a great job. Penelope, like I said, played by Nicola Coughlan. Coughlan? No idea. I'm so sorry. I'm so English. Plays a very timid girl who is picked on for being chubby or unattractive and unwanted by her sisters, isn't seen as like a real option for a wife by any of the boys, but particularly the one boy she loves, which is dipshit Bridgerton brother number 3, Colin. But she's very clever. And like I said, besties with Eloise. So I assume we get more Eloise in her season at the very least. But we'll get there. Her character is also very kind, and goes out of her way to try to be kind to those who are not treated as such. But she does look absolutely dastardly in her mother's color choices with these like poodle ringlet hair. Like, oh, oh my god, no. There's also 2 sisters who I think are older than Penelope. Don't think it's ever really referenced. But they're basically like the ugly stepsisters of this family of a Cinderella dynamic, minus the fact Penelope doesn't have to clean up. But like, you know, they give that vibe that her family. And they do have a father in this season. He is a useless prick, and we'll get to it when it comes up in the plot. But yeah, like the sisters kind of have very little personality and influence on the plot. They're just there for like comedic effects. One of them's the stupid one of them's the mean one, but they are both stupid and mean, right? So they also have to take care of this young woman called Marina Thompson, who is from the countryside and is pregnant out of wedlock, and basically has been sent there to find a husband by her uncle, or like, I don't know, something like that, because Lord Featherington, so the father, owes this man money. Because he gambled all their money away. These women, his daughters, don't have dowries because he's gambled all of their money away. Men don't change, clearly. So yeah, this poor girl gets thrown at all of like these ugly, old, gross men, until Colin McGooberface tries it on, and he's even engaged her at one point before it all blows up in his face. Everyone finds out she's pregnant and screws it all up, and then she takes a poison to the fetus, and that nearly kills her too. Penelope finds her. And yeah, honestly, this plot was way more interesting to me than the main couple, which is why I love this family as well. They have so much drama. Because yeah, the only decent thing that Daphne does, really, is finally getting to the bottom of where the fuck the man who got Marina pregnant is. And it turns out fucking dead. He's fucking dead. I also clocked that. I was like, he's not going to be alive. Like, he was a soldier. And it's like, if he was writing letters back to you before and he stopped, then he might just be fucking dead. You know, 2 plus 2 equals 4. But yeah, like, I find her character, Marina, well crafted. She generally seems to like and be friends with Penelope, but then also is really, she's in a really shit situation and does say some nasty things to Penelope about what Colin thinks of Penelope, which she does apologize for later on. Because, yeah, basically the gist with her, it's kind of sad, really, because, yeah, she was pregnant with the man that she loves, baby, gets an abortion or gives it to herself basically, and then finds out the man did love her, he just died. And then she ends up marrying his brother, who seems nice enough. I mean, why not? Fuck it. But yeah, I think it's just a shame that, if she did want to marry that man and have his baby, she now has neither, which is, yeah, I don't know. At least I think that if she maybe had found out he died before she had tried to the fetus, I think she may have reconsidered and kept it. But then also she probably would have had the option slash offer from his brother already. Anyway, so on to Daphne. Can't stand her. She starts off okay, I guess. I like to love her actions initially, but there's like, I don't know, there's something that irks me about her. I don't know if it's the actress, I don't know if it's the way the character is written and the way she behaves, but like, there's something about the way she is with Simon that really fucks me off, particularly when we get to sort of like the halfway point. But like, I find her enraging with how she and Simon are together. And mostly she's the one pissing me off. I kind of feel like I understand where Simon's kind of coming from and why he might be a bit secretive about some things, because they don't really know each other that well either. So, but yeah, so like, that was annoying as well, because she did seem empathetic and she seemed to kind of go against the grain, particularly like with the end of the season's plot with Marina. But I think a big part of what pisses me off is like her waifiness, her waspishness. And I just think she's quite pathetic a lot of the time. Also, I could not abide by her sex scenes. I'm not gonna lie. Her sex grunting was really whingy. And like I say, pathetic. Like, I don't know, man. Like, everything was fucking me off, yeah. And then Simon, I actually really liked his character development in particular, and his growth. He starts off obviously very stunted, a ladies' man slash bachelor type who sleeps around, particularly with sex workers, with no intent to settle down at all. Everyone knows he does not want to get married. He has this horrible father, or had this horrible father. He's dead by the time we're in this season. His mother also died giving birth to him, but he did at least luckily have a loving aunt who helped him with his stammer, took him in, gave him the love that literally nobody else would slash could, and helped him excel. He begins to unravel this dark exterior when he pretends to court Daphne. So like, this season is all about a fake dating scenario. Basically, that's the trope we are going with this season. Yeah, he becomes a lot more relaxed and fun, particularly funny. He becomes this lovely soft husband once he does marry her, even though he was finangled into that as well. he did not willingly marry her, slash he did not propose. She just basically said, we're getting married, to the whole group of people, because it was literally fisticuffs at dawn but with guns between him and Daphne's brother Anthony, who is his bestie. Like, why would you do that to your bestie? But yeah, so he does like seem to ease into it, and he's like, you know what, maybe this is for the best. Actually, you're right. I am into you, but like, I can't have kids. So like, if you're sure that that's fine, then okay. Otherwise, you'll just have to put up with it. He also then becomes a very caring duke, and he's trying to right the wrongs of his absence and whoever else that was absent. I don't know. Things that I just don't fucking care about and cannot follow. Like, I just simply do not remember. I don't understand how dukedom works, whoever else was at fault. Either way, he was trying to make up for a load of fucked up shit, basically. And then Daphne raped him. I thought I was watching a romance show. It's one thing including things like sexual assault and rape in plot lines of, romantic shows, romance shows, or romance books. It's another when it's between the main couple. Like, I don't think necessarily it shouldn't ever be approached, but I don't know how you claw yourself back from that. And I know in this circumstance as well, a lot of people are not going to see that as rape. And from what I saw, I remember seeing it at the time as well, actually, online. And I see it coming up every time there's a new season. And somebody, like, just on my timelines commenting on something in the new season, it often gets referenced, this particular plot point. So that was definitely something I knew and was kind of aware of. And I was waiting to see what happened and what happens after that happened. But it was all fine and dandy up until episode 6, where Daphne raped Simon. Because instead of talking to him, which she genuinely never tries to do once she realizes that she maybe doesn't like this is the thing. I don't think she thinks she misunderstood him. I think she thinks he purposefully, I don't know, lied to entrap her or something. Like, I don't know. Instead of speaking to him about the things she's realized that maybe aren't what she previously thought, she realizes what he's been doing after sex into, like, a tissue, the sheets, not a tissue, like a hanky, I guess. What he's been doing using the pull-out method. After she realizes what that is, she doesn't try to talk to him about it. She just becomes very resentful, doesn't talk to him anymore. He doesn't understand what's going on. And then, like, the moment as it's happening, and like just after it happens, it was genuinely quite heartbreaking and horrifying, actually, for me to see that, because I do think this part was well acted and written, just not for this kind of fucking show. But he is kind of confused and panics initially, and then as he tries to, like, talk to her about it afterwards, he has reverted back to having the stammer again, which was, basically trained out of him in a way with practicing confidence. I don't know how legit that is for, like, anybody out there with a stammer. I guess partially yes, but also I think there's a bit more to it. But basically his character has gone from feeling confident and having reasonable self-esteem and being able to communicate in the way that he wishes to then suddenly feeling very vulnerable. Like, the one person he was actually finally letting down his guard around the person he was starting to see, like possibly changing his future, from what he expected it to be to something else, something happier. This is the thing. Like, I think if they had just had a conversation about this misunderstanding, that, you know, he's not impotent. Is that the right word? Impotent? One of those two. I don't know. You know, he's not sterile. There's other reasons why he says he can't rather than won't. Because I think that's the thing too. To me, saying I can't instead of I won't also implies that actually I think he does want kids. Because it's not that he won't have them. Because that sounds like, to me, the implication of I won't have kids with anybody, let alone with you. I won't have kids sounds like I don't want them. Whereas I can't feels a lot murkier to me than just this implication of I am physically or biologically unable to. But, you know, here we are, girl. They'd spent weeks or months just constantly fucking at his house after they got married, into then this. Daphne, like I said, she became very resentful before even trying to find clarity with her husband, and just has like a huge tirade and strop about him lying to her. She also says like takes advantage of her, which is like fucking wild, because like I said, she fandangled him into the marriage in the first place. Like, I really think she would have been fine without getting married to him. Sure, she probably wouldn't have had an amazing reputation after that, but that prince wanted her. She could have gone and married that prince still, who was a very nice man. But instead, she was like, no, bitch. Because she also like that's the other thing too. She disrupted the possibility of that blonde lady, Cressida, getting with the prince. She was like, I've decided I want that prince, so come here, bitch. And then she changes her mind. And then the prince doesn't go back to Cressida either. So I do feel kind of bad for Cressida, actually. No wonder why she's the villain. People keep fucking her about. So the blonde lady as well, Cressida, was threatening to tell everybody about Daphne and Simon like making out in the garden or something. I don't know. Something. And then now she's done all this. It's like, what is the point? What was the point in any of that? Are there any brain cells to share around, please? And like the thing as well is Simon thought Daphne understood how sex works. And the fact that she didn't was not his fault. And she is angry at her mum for not explaining that to her very well / at all. But yeah, she just places a lot of blame on him that is not really his to shoulder. And like at the end of this scene as well, she tells him this is not love and he does not love her. And all of this happened because he said he can't give her children rather than won't or doesn't want. I really think he would have just explained it a bit more if she'd spoken to him. And I know it's something he doesn't really want to talk about. We know this because he doesn't generally talk about his father. But like, yeah, damn, like I'm really pissed about this particular plot point because after that happens, they're both very hostile with each other, obviously, for a long time. He has good reason to be, honestly. He does say as well, like, if you are pregnant, then I'll obviously support you and him, but we won't be husband and wife. Like, we will be by law, but that's it. And if you aren't pregnant, then we'll see, bitch. But after she reads the letters he wrote as a child to his father, that his father never even fucking opened, she just starts smiling at him again. Like, that was it. There's no conversation needed. It's fine. She just starts smiling at him again. And obviously, for a while, he's sort of like, fuck you, bitch. But eventually, and honestly, kind of quickly, he was just kind of like, oh, all is forgiven. I love you. Let's have babies. Because like, it wasn't super clear. She either wasn't pregnant and she started her period, or she was pregnant and had a miscarriage. But like, I don't know if there would be a way to make that clearer. So I'm not really sure. But either way, she wasn't pregnant in the end. But like, yeah, they spent weeks, maybe a bit longer, not talking to each other and winding each other up and being petty and horrible, etc., for it all to just resolve when Daphne decided to stop being horrible to him. After finding out she was definitely not pregnant slash anymore, So yeah, I don't know. That was a crazy plot to have in there. What was that? Yeah, for nobody to consider this sexual assault and everything to just be fine again with no real conversation about any of this. This was season 1. What do you fucking mean? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was this? I will say that there was somebody who, I'll put it on the screen because I did save it. There was somebody who said on Tumblr that, like, clearly the writers realized that nobody was fucking vibing with that plot in season 1, because I don't think they included any references to season 4, but like in season 2 and 3, there's like several points where the men particularly were actively seeking consent, like verbal or like nodding, some kind of communication of consent to carry on, consent to sexual activities, rather than doing that again. So that makes me feel a little bit better about continuing to watch these seasons, this show as well. Generally, I'm pleased for the absolute fucking banger at the end of the season, saying that Penelope is basically the ancient gossip girl. I fucking love that. I did think it was her. Like halfway through the season, I was like, I think it's her, because they all say like, oh, it takes too much time for a servant to do that, so it can't be a servant. Great, so that means it's one of the people in the society. Basically, it can't be the queen because she's not around all these people. People were thinking it was a tradesperson of some kind, so they thought it was the like dressmaker lady, but it wasn't her. And it also has to be somebody like quiet enough, invisible enough to hear gossip from all kinds of different people and groups, because there's no one person who's on good terms with everybody and will get everybody's opinions. So yeah, I was sort of like, I saw it coming, but I'm glad it was confirmed. So yeah, hell fucking yeah, girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep, manipulate those bitches. And also, I was listening to the voice over for that character, and I was like, why do I recognize this voice? It's the Queen of Genovia! It's Julie Andrews! Fuck yeah. Keep paying that woman. I love her. She deserves the world. Her voiceover gives a lot to the vibes. Love that. Side characters who are important enough to the plot, but not enough to go into how... What? What does that fucking say? I don't know. Just some other characters that I haven't mentioned yet, but I like. The Queen. Don't know who this actress is, but apparently she's gay. Fuck yeah. Another win for the gays. I fucking love her. Like I said, she reminded me of like the Capitol, with the way that her wigs were insane. Her wigs were insane. But also she makes these faces that I just find so pleasing. There's something just like really around, this sort of area. I don't know. Whatever she does, I love it. So I love her. Also, she's just fucking snorting coke all the time. Off a little teaspoon. Serving much. Lady Danbury as well, played by Adjoa Ando, who I have mentioned before a while ago in one of my book videos, my reading my physical TBR video. She was the narrator of the first Brown Sisters romance book. I also mentioned her in my pro trans celebrities video. Realized it's because she has a trans child. So slay. But yeah, it was so nice to actually see her acting in something, because like I recognize her, but I don't think I've actually seen anything with her acting in it, particularly like a bigger role. I also love that she's another character that plots and schemes and like pulls strings to make things happen. I also actually kind of am vibing with Cressida Cowper and Fam. They are horrible. They are the horrible blonde people. But they also wear fucking sickening outfits. So I just wanted to mention them real quick. But also, yeah, like I said earlier, no wonder why she's the villain, because like even when she's minding her own business and has first dibs, people fuck her about. Or at least they have so far. Let's see how much worse it gets. Because I can tell it's just gonna keep getting worse for that woman. I know she sucks, but Daphne was unfair. I didn't write this in my script. I'd meant to, but I just want to throw in there as well. I do actually really like the fact that this phrasing is problematic, but I don't know what the other terminology is for it. So let me know in the comments if you know what it's called in other ways. But blind casting, I really enjoy the fact that actually this is a period drama where race almost doesn't matter. I think there's one reference in this season between Lady Danbury and Simon about, like we weren't equal to them until their royalty chose one of us, i.e., the Queen is a black woman and her husband, the king, who was, is the royal family king, is a white man. So there is that reference. I wonder if there'll be other references, but generally, race doesn't necessarily matter as much or in the same way as it has done, obviously, in real life in this kind of Bridgerton historic universe. Because yeah, sometimes, bitch, it's just you just want to have some vibes. You don't want racism in everything. Sometimes you want to escape the prejudice, because there's a lot of shows that I would really love to just be a bit fucking gay without it being about politics all the time. So like, yeah, just let it be gay. Let it. But this is the thing as well, though. I'm waiting to see what the fuck happens with gay shit in this show, if it even really happens, because I would die on the hill that they will not balls to the walls it and will play it safe. I really feel like that they are not going to give us queer. I don't think it'll be a main couple. I don't think we're going to see any butch or mask women. And if we do, I'm sure there's going to be something problematic about it. From what I have been hearing on the internet, I have some thoughts that might be happening this for the second half of this season / in maybe the next season, season 5. But I don't know if that's gonna be happening. But anyway, yeah. So I do think it's gonna suck for the gays, but I am ready to see what happens with Benedict. And then yeah, maybe by the time I get to season 4, I'll have a good focus on seeing what's happened with him and his sexuality through the seasons, maybe, because I know there's been things that have come up in different seasons. Yeah, all of that to just say that it was nice to be able to see black folk, Asian folk being able to perform as high class members of society in a historic romantic drama, because yeah, that's kind of the thing that tends to never happen, because for accuracy's sake, and then it's like, yeah, but nothing else is fucking accurate about it, is it anyway? So yeah, I know the next season is Anthony's season. I don't know what to expect from him, considering he is such a twat with a capital T in this season, but we will see. Let me know your thoughts on this season. I'm not gonna lie, I will fucking just block people arguing about the sexual assault section. I literally am not going to. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But any other thoughts about this season or anything about the upcoming seasons I haven't seen yet? Um, yeah, maybe don't spoil those, but like just let me know if there's something in a certain season that you think I would definitely be like interested about, or like a particular character with a particular arc. So anyway, I guess you should all go and enjoy the rest of Bridgerton season 4 that is coming out in a couple of days by the time this is released. So let me. What was I going to say? I don't know. So with that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bitch. Yeah, watch the video all the way through. Go watch another video of mine. And let me know in the comments if I should carry on a season by season thoughts slash analyses of Bridgerton. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And I will see you next week. Bye.